The ancient Egyptians were known for their incredible feats of engineering and their advanced knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. However, there are still many things about them that remain a mystery to modern scholars. In this video, we will explore some of the most interesting unsolved mysteries of ancient Egypt. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button for more videos. Let's start with one of the most famous unsolved mysteries of ancient Egypt, the identity of the builders of the pyramids. The construction of the pyramids is one of the most impressive achievements of ancient Egyptian civilization. It is well known that they served as tombs for the pharaohs and that they took hundreds of years to complete. However, we don't know who exactly built them. There are several theories about the construction of the pyramids, but none of them have been proven. Some believe that the pyramids were built by slaves, while others believe that they were built by a highly skilled workforce of masons and engineers who were paid for their work. The evidence seems to point towards the latter, but we may never know for sure. The truth is, it's likely that both theories are correct. That is, slaves were used in the construction of the pyramids, but so were free workers who were paid for their services. We can assume that the skills required to build the pyramids were so specialized that it would have been impossible to do it without the use of skilled workers. For example, the builders of the pyramids needed to know how to use advanced tools and techniques to cut and move huge blocks of stone. They also needed to understand complex mathematical concepts in order to design and construct the pyramids accurately. It's unlikely that slaves who were typically uneducated and unskilled would have been able to do all of this. On the other hand, it's also unlikely that the entire workforce of the pyramids consisted of skilled workers. Since there were likely hundreds of thousands of people involved in the construction of each pyramid, it's more likely that there was a hierarchy of workers with slaves at the bottom and highly skilled engineers and architects at the top. So the slaves would have done the more menial tasks, such as hauling stones and digging ditches, while the skilled workers would have designed and supervised the construction. This theory is supported by the fact that there is evidence that some of the workers who built the pyramids lived near the construction site and had families. Slaves were usually kept in separate quarters away from the rest of the population and were not allowed to have families. Therefore, it's likely that at least some of the workers who built the pyramids were free men who were paid for their work. Another unsolved mystery of ancient Egypt is the purpose of the Sphinx. The Sphinx is one of the most iconic monuments of ancient Egypt. It is a huge statue with the body of a lion and the head of a human, and it is believed to have been built around 2500 BC. The most popular theory is that the Sphinx was meant to represent the pharaoh Khafre, but there is no evidence to support this. Some believe that the Sphinx was actually a representation of the Egyptian god Horus, while others believe that it was simply a symbolic representation of the pharaoh's power and authority. However, there is no evidence to support either of these theories. The truth is, we may never know the true purpose of the Sphinx. Moving on, let's discuss the Voynich manuscript. The Voynich manuscript is a mysterious book that was written in an unknown language and contains illustrations of plants, animals, and astronomical charts. It is believed to have been written in the 15th century, but the language has never been deciphered. The manuscript is named after the bookseller Wilfrid Voynich, who purchased it in 1912. When he bought the book, he noticed that it was written in a strange alphabet, and that it contained bizarre illustrations. Voynich showed the book to several scholars, but none of them could decipher the text or identify the illustrations. Over the years, the book has been the subject of much speculation, and there are many theories about its origins and purpose. Some believe that the book is a hoax, while others believe that it is a lost medieval grimoire or a secret herbal. There is even a theory that the book is an alien artifact. But again, there is no evidence to support any of these theories. The truth is, we don't know anything about the Voynich manuscript. It's possible that it is a hoax, but it's also possible that it is a genuine medieval book that has simply been lost to history. If it is a hoax, then it is a very elaborate one. The book is written on high-quality paper and vellum, and the illustrations are very detailed. If it is a genuine medieval book, then it is likely that it was written by a single author. The text is very consistent, and the illustrations follow a logical progression. And now, we will talk about one of the most famous unsolved mysteries of ancient Egypt, the death of Cleopatra. Cleopatra was the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt. She was born in 69 BC and died in 30 BC. Cleopatra is said to have died by suicide by allowing an Egyptian cobra to crawl into her mouth. However, there is no historical evidence to support this claim. It is possible that Cleopatra was poisoned, but if she was, it is not clear who would have wanted her dead. Her brother and lover Ptolemy, the 13th, was another possible suspect, as was her son Caesarion. In the end, though, we may never know what really happened to Cleopatra. Another unsolved mystery of ancient Egypt is the disappearance of the 18th dynasty. The 18th dynasty of Egypt ruled from 1543 to 1292 BC and is considered to be one of the most powerful and prosperous periods in Egyptian history. During this time, Egypt was united. The economy was strong, and the arts and culture flourished. However, the 18th dynasty ended abruptly, and there is much debate over what caused the decline. Some believe that the decline was due to internal factors, such as economic inequality or political instability. Others believe that external factors, such as the rise of the Hittites or the Sea Peoples, were responsible. However, there is no evidence to support either of these theories, and the truth is that we do not know why the 18th dynasty ended. Another fascinating unsolved mystery of ancient Egypt is the origin of Egyptian mythology. Egyptian mythology is a rich and complex system of beliefs that developed over a period of several centuries. It includes a pantheon of gods and goddesses, as well as a number of myths and legends. However, we don't know where Egyptian mythology came from. Some of the myths and legends can be traced back to ancient Egyptian times, while others were added later during the Greco-Roman period. It's possible that Egyptian mythology was influenced by other cultures, such as the Mesopotamians and the Greeks. But we don't have any evidence to prove this. The truth is that we don't know much about the development of Egyptian mythology. It's a fascinating topic, and one that is sure to be debated by scholars for many years to come. Finally, we will discuss the Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone is a black granite, steely inscribed with a decree issued at the city of Memphis in 196 BC. It is important because it contains the same text in 3 different scripts: hieroglyphic, Demotic, and Greek. The discovery of the Rosetta Stone in 1799 by Napoleon's army in Egypt allowed scholars to decipher Egyptian hieroglyphs. This is because the stone contained the same text in Greek, which scholars already understood, and Demotic, kind of Egyptian cursive that was also relatively easy to decipher. Once scholars had figured out the Greek text, they were able to use it to decipher the hieroglyphics, which had been a mystery for centuries. The Rosetta Stone is now in the British Museum, where it is one of the most popular artifacts on display. Those are just a few of the many unsolved mysteries of ancient Egypt. What are your thoughts on these mysteries? Do you have any theories? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.